Yeah, it's a larger area and just what was adjacent to what's coming in. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We're looking at approving the attached resolutions recommending the City Council the adoption of the proposed mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program. The resolution recommending approval of the pre-zoning 2014-10, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Do I have a motion?
Well, do you entertain a motion
I
from me?
entertain a
Okay, I
motion.
move. Do you want the negative declaration first, recommended to City Council?
Yes,
I
please.
move that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2015-9, recommending to the City Council to approve the mitigated neg deck for this pre-zoning 2014-10.
Second.
And that includes the mitigation monitoring and reporting program.
I think it's the, yeah.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Item number 2 has been approved.
No, we have
The
one more
pre-zone?
resolution.
One more
Right.
okay.
So, if you'd like me to continue?
Continue, Chairman,
I don't wanna
Vice
be
Chairman.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, you're on a roll.
I move that we adopt PC Resolution 2015-10, recommending that the City Council approve an ordinance adopting the pre-zoning 2014-10 to present and annex multiple properties for low-density residential performance overlay zone, as presented in the resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 2014-10 has been approved. You ready to go on?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that everybody will be notified when the public hearing goes before the City Council and also before LAFCO as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go on to item number 3. Tentative map 2013-6 and conditional use permit 2015-3 for a plan unit development. Ida Rakovich, the applicant, is requesting approval of Orchard Park, total of 81 units for tentative map 2013-6 encompassing 10 acres and a conditional use permit for a planned unit development application in the R3/MPZ, medium density residential performance overlay zoning district, located south of Buena Vista Road, north of Central Avenue, east of Miller Road, west of Calaveras Elementary School. The tentative map proposes to subdivide 10 acres as follows: 81 single-family lots on approximately 10 acres total, 9 acres Rakovich, and 1 acre Ivankovich for pre-zone 2010-2 I, CEQA mitigated negative declaration. Hopefully I said that right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Best I could do.
Actually, staff would like to provide a staff report for agenda item 3 and 4, considering that they're part of the same tenant map application for the interest of the proper approvals of the resolutions in the specific order. So we're going to combine the information together. Okay, the applicant is requesting approval of a tentative map to subdivide 2 parcels consisting of approximately 10 acres into, actually it's 82 small lots for single-family homes in the R3 MPZ medium density residential performance overlay zoning district in the city of Hollister, with also the conditional use permit for a planned unit development. The minimum lot size would be 2,840 square feet, and the average lot size would be 3,346 square feet. The gross density proposed is 8.2 dwelling units per acre, and the net density is proposed at 11.90 dwelling units per net acre. 2 existing residences are present on the northern area of the site along Buena Vista Road. As noted on the tentative map, the existing homes are proposed to be removed. Buena Vista Road extends in an east-west direction towards the north gutter and sidewalk. The project would add a negligible amount of traffic to the existing school zone. Therefore, appropriate improvements would be implemented to ensure the safety of the school children in the area. The City of Hollister City Council at a regular meeting held on April 21st, 2014, adopted the Safe Routes to Arrowhardin and Calaveras Elementary Schools implementation plan. The Safe Routes to School program is designed to create safe and convenient opportunities to access schools other than by automobile, such as walking, biking, carpooling, and taking public transportation. The mitigated negative declaration has implemented mitigation measure 16-2, ensuring that the specific features are identified and incorporated in tentative map 2013-6. The project applicant shall be required to build sidewalks along both sides of all new streets within the project site. Additionally, a sidewalk on the south side of Buena Vista Road and on the north side of Central Avenue, both project site frontages, shall be built to connect to adjacent pedestrian facilities along these streets. This would provide a continuous sidewalk connection from every proposed residential unit within the project site to existing and planned pedestrian facilities in the study area, such as the nearby Calaveras Elementary School and Park, and existing bus stops along Central Avenue. The project applicant shall work with the City of Hollister to contribute to the implementation of any other improvements identified in the adopted Safe Routes to School document. Such improvements may include installing missing sidewalks along the south side of Buena Vista Road, west of the school, the striping of bike lanes along Buena Vista Road, the construction of curb extensions such as bulb outs, striping high visibility yellow crosswalks, and stripe advanced stop lines at Miller Road and Buena Vista Road, Westside Boulevard and Buena Vista Road intersections and along the project frontages. Stripe high visibility yellow crosswalks and stripe advanced stop lines at Central Avenue and Felice intersection. The current park facility plan recommends the development of 5-acre neighborhood parks within walking distance of a half mile. The larger Calaveras Community Park, which is approximately 7 acres in size, is located approximately 430 feet to the east of the project site, directly east of Calaveras Elementary School. The park amenities include a softball and soccer field, tot lot, group picnic pavilion, turf amphitheater with stage, etc. The City Council and Planning Commission have expressed the need for updating the park facility master plan to further identify new park sites, and city staff will be commencing the update shortly. There is also a request approval to request the pre-zone 1 acre in the R3 MPZ medium density residential performance overlay district for annexation. The property is part of the tentative map 2013-6 application. The property is located within the city's sphere of influence and planning area. The zoning designation for the project site in the county of San Benito is currently AP, which is agricultural productive. On September 21st, 2009, the City Council of the City of Hollister authorized staff to initiate the pre-zoning of a number of unincorporated islands in the City of Hollister sphere of influence, including the 1 acre lot, as you see before you, identified as APN 19-250-004, which is also known as application pre-zone 2010-2I. On January 28th, 2010, the City of Hollister Planning Commission approved a resolution awarding 91 growth management residential allocations for the project site, which is the entire 10 acres of this tentative map application. Tentative map 2013-6 includes the two existing parcels, as mentioned before. The first parcel is 9 acres, which is within the city limits, and 1 acre which is currently telephone and fiber optic conduits shall be underground to serve the lots in the subdivision. The project is consistent with Land Use Policy 3.2 2, street trees, because the development would include street tree planting and other open space features to maintain visual quality and small town atmosphere. The project site is consistent with Land Use Policy 4.4, streets, paths, and bikeways, because it contributes to the city's transportation network. The project site is consistent with Land Use Policy 8.4, neighborhood scale, because the project site will preserve and enhance the character of the existing residential neighborhood. The City of Hollister circulated a mitigated negative declaration for the proposed tentative map 2013-6 from March 13th, 2015 to April 13th, 2015, which is attached to this report. The proposed pre-zone 2010-2I is also proposed to be included with the design of the tentative map 2013-6, known as Orchard Park. The City of Hollister received 2 comment letters in response. Formal written responses to comments in the mitigated negative declaration are not required by CEQA. However, in the interest of full disclosure and cooperation with responsible agencies and the public, the letters are attached to the staff report. And so the first letter that was received was from the Hollister School District. The first comment was increased vehicular traffic and pedestrian safety. Mr. Talea indicated that the Hollister School District's greatest concern is the safety and security of their students and staff. Currently, Calaveras Elementary School, located at 1151 Buena Vista Road, is the closest school to the proposed site. There are approximately, at this time when they reviewed the document for all the units, it was approximately 86 dwelling units. So proposed for the site, which will increase the amount of vehicular traffic in the area. There is a need for adequate sidewalks, crosswalks, on-street parking, and traffic control devices and traffic calming to promote safety for current and future students and community members. The city's response is the City of Hollister City Council at its regular meeting held at April 21st, 2014, adopted, as mentioned before, the Safe Routes to Schools for Olive Hardin Elementary School and Calaveras Elementary School implementation plan. The Safe Routes to School program is designed to create safe and convenient opportunities to access schools other than by automobile, such as walking, biking, carpooling, taking public transportation. The mitigated negative declaration has implemented mitigation measure 16-2, ensuring that the specific features are identified and incorporated in this tentative map 2013-6, as mentioned previously in the staff report. The second comment was Mr. Telia mentioned the need for a new school site to accommodate the growing community. He indicated that the development of the site and other pending or future residential developments will create the need for a new school site or sites in this general. The Hollister School District respectfully requests the City of Hollister to be cognizant of the need to designate land in this general area and future residential developments for a new school site or sites and additional green space to serve the community. The City of Hollister's response is the Hollister School District has expressed concerns about the impact of the proposed project on the Calaveras Elementary School. The methodology for assessment of school impacts in environmental documents has evolved over time due to litigation. Today, the assessment of school impacts is limited to the secondary physical impacts that could be caused by a project such as the expansion of a school campus. An environmental assessment cannot evaluate whether or not a school has a staff or resources or facilities to provide educational services to student population from the proposed project. However, the City of Hollister is pleased to collaborate with the Hollister School District for the designation of land for new school sites, as was mentioned in the last agenda item. So the city has the same response for the comment. And also, the second letter was received from the California Department of Conservation, and their comment was, the mitigated negative declaration states that the project site is undeveloped fallow farmland and is designated prime farmland. It acknowledges that the project will convert the land to non-agricultural uses, but states that the General Plan EIR, adopted December 2005, determined that the loss of farmland was a significant and unavoidable impact. However, a review of the General Plan Policy OS 2.22 explains that it is necessary to coordinate with San Diego County to preserve prime farmlands. The city's response is the General Plan Policy OS 2.2 encourages the County of San Diego to maintain existing county land uses policies that discourages urban development in rural areas within the county as a way to ensure continuing agricultural operations within portions of the Hollister planning area. The city would need to coordinate with the County of San Benito in efforts to maintain prime farmlands and active agricultural that are in active agricultural use whenever possible, and in all efforts to maintain the continued economic viability of the agriculture within the Hollister planning area. The implementation measure would have the City Council coordinate with San Diego County and enact a farmland trust. So as of today, the city and county, they have still not enacted the farmland trust. So with this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving the following subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. So there's going to be 4 resolutions. The first one would be a mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring reporting program for tentative map 2013-6 and for pre-zone 2010-2I. The second resolution will be a recommendation to the City Council to approve pre-zone 2010-2I. The third resolution is conditional use permit for a planned unit development 2015-3. And the final resolution would be the approval for tentative map 2013-6. Are there any questions for staff?
I guess the
There's 4
the issue of the farmland trust, that's in the radar, but we don't know when that's going to have any idea when that's going to come about, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So we have, subject to our discretion, we have 4 resolutions.
Yes.
And we're including item 3 and number
4
4
together,
in your
correct.
staff report. So we're going to, I didn't read item number 4, I guess.
Yeah, we're just combining them together. We're
We're
going to have the
just
same
combining them together.
public
Okay.
hearing for both, so if anyone wants to speak on any of the items, the staff report was combined together.
Okay, so it's
So we'll
not
open them for
necessarily-
both.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, any questions on the staff report? Commissioners, any questions? Okay. Good. We'll open the public hearing now at 6:54. Any speaker cards?
We do not have any speaker cards, Chairman Hewitt.
Anyone care to address the commission?
We have John Ivankovich.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. I represent the owners of the 1-acre parcel, and I just have a question for you. Right now, thankfully, Mrs. Rykovich and her team have taken the whole project to this point, and I have a question for you. And my question is, the way this is progressing is someone will buy the whole 10 acres. And the project goes in as this is shown to you. Now, if someone buys only 9 acres and not the other 1 acre, where does that leave that 1 acre as far as design of development of it? Does that make sense, the question?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the map,
The road's going through yours.
right. Yeah. Now, is it possible that if the land isn't purchased by, doesn't go together, that another design can be approved by the city where the road goes somewhere else and not through that 1-acre parcel? Or by approving this tonight, are we committed forever to the road being on that one parcel no matter what happens? Is that clear?
Yeah, I understand what
Yes,
you're
John.
saying.
If
But I mean, you're the property owner, so they can't do anything without your okay, right?
Abraham?
If the tentative map is substantially changed from this design, we'll most likely have, if the determination from the city, we could have to bring it back to another planning commission to redesign. It'd have to be reevaluated by a development review committee and make sure that the entrances, locations are, not the environmental document, but just depending on the changes, and that's something we'd have to analyze at the point of the submittal if there is a substantial change. But they most likely would have to return with a new design. And we've mentioned before that the city's stance on this is that this site should be cohesively designed together. So unfortunately, our traffic engineer, the city's not here to mention on this point, but like mentioned before, they'll have to most likely resubmit for just another public hearing, and we'll reopen the public hearing again for a different design.
Depending on the.
Depending on-
Depending on
Yeah,
the.
so if there's a new submittal, at that point, the city will make the determination
Depending on how
substantial the change.
Substantial the
Mhm.
change, yeah. If it's minor, it could be approved
Sure.
administratively, or might have to come back to the planning commission.
Yeah, and we'll take it to the development review committee and make the determination about the course of action.
Well, I think it's everybody's advantage that the 2 properties go at one time,
Yes,
and I
correct.
support that fully.
Sure.
I just want to get caught in the crossfire here of something happening. But then I want to compliment your staff. I I went through the whole environmental document. I can't believe how thick these things
Yes,
are.
it is.
It's very comprehensive, and I think they did a good job. And I made some comments, and I think for whatever worth they were considered, at least.
Good. Right.
But I came in this morning, or was it this morning or yesterday, I talked to Jill about two concerns, and I think she addressed them with the staff, and if I read the document correctly, I have no concerns. And it was about, I should tell you, the one thing is, the way the document is written, the one about the air conditioning unit.
12-2.
Yeah, I misunderstood, and I thought that the document was saying that for 21 lots along Buena Vista, there had to be air conditioning. And I think it says ventilation or, anyway, I didn't see the ventilation part, because in this town, we really don't need air conditioning units, no matter what. And in my life here in Hollister, I've had a couple of, we had one house we built, and it was insulated like things were done 40 years ago, and we put an attic fan in the hallway, and the house would stay cool all day long in the hot of winter. You probably know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. You got a good breeze coming through.
You get a breeze. This place cools down at 6 o'clock, and by that time the house is starting to work. You open the window, turn the fan, and you cool the place down. It's fantastic. So I thought that was really good. As long as is this the way it's drafted, people can do that. So homeowners have the choice. If they want to have air conditioning or not, they don't have to pay for something. And then if you have an air conditioner there, you're going to use it, energy and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was so. But then I had another question. I think I don't have a concern anymore, and that is about some improvements along west of Calavera School. And my question is the improvements that are for like bike paths or walkways, are they only along the property, the development itself, not somewheres down the road where you have to put in other improvements? And I think that's not required down the road, but I just want to make sure that that's the case.
Well, they did talk about that.
Yeah, I want to know what it
About
actually talking
extending
about.
it more westerly.
Yes, it was to comply with the safe routes to school.
Right.
That's her, yeah.
So what does that mean to us?
Well, it's not on your frontage, right?
Do we have to
It's on his
contribute? Does the developer of this property have to contribute money down the street? And what are we talking about here? We talking a few dollars or a few $100,000? What are we talking about?
Yeah, the engineering department will determine what that would be. So it lists the intersections in the mitigation measure.
Yeah, the mitigation measure indicates safe routes to school. So at this time, the engineering department is going to work with the applicant and make sure that prior to going to final map, the specific type of safe routes to school will be implemented, and then make sure that they work with you together, and then take it before, and that it substantially conforms to the tentative map, and then take it before the city council for final map
Because
approval.
they've done some improvements already. The city yard has gone out there and implemented crosswalks and such. And so it's just to make sure that bike paths connect and things in those matters, and crosswalks for the safety, especially at Western Court, where the project entrance on Central would be. Even it could be across the street to complete a bulb out. Things of that nature, because you can't do a partial bulb out.
This frontage on Buena Vista, so are you saying that, I should know this, but is there no sidewalks to the west of it?
I believe just on I think the only one all the way down Buena Vista could just be possibly the Gonzalez parcel. If you remember off, I don't have a map of that here, but it's to the west, and they're actually going to be submitting for a map next month. So they're going through that. They got the we've approved the mitigated negative declaration, and they're going to be doing their frontage improvements as well, and complying with the plan.
So they would pay for their own?
The Gonzalez piece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, if there's going to be any off-site improvements, I think that the applicant should have some sort of reasonable idea how much money we're talking about, because the way I read it was sort of open-ended.
I did too. I agree with you.
You understand my concern?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't have the answer for you, but I do understand what you're saying, because I was wondering about that myself.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
there's a
What's
few
your
there's a few
responsibility
striping at some of the intersections.
Okay.
So at one of the intersections is Miller Road and Buena Vista. There's just the striping before you get to the intersection, things like that. A lot of it has to deal with striping. So,
Which wouldn't be borne by the applicant though, right?
pardon?
The cost for that, are you saying that's?
Yeah, they work with the city, so they'll work with the engineering department and determine, what those improvements would be. So,
Okay, and I had one last question. Jill, you were reading something about, in the middle of your presentation, and I didn't understand it correctly. It was something to do about the annexation pending or something? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, so,
Some condition there?
yeah, so the condition would be that, that LAFCO, that the property is recorded by LAFCO prior to final map approval. So that just means that the annexation process will continue because it's part of this map. So they can't file the final map, which means this is the final, the driveway is going through that property. So that means that it'd be annexed in and completed in the process and in the city before that final map is completed.
Before the Reikovich
Yes,
map
correct.
is complete?
Can record it, it would have to be, the 1 acre parcel would have to be approved by
Annexed in
LAFCO
city.
and recorded. So correct. That's just to make sure the entire 10 acres is now in the city limits and not
Okay.
just the one portion, the 1 acre portion.
Well, thank you for your patience for me, and thank you for all the work
Thank you
you
very
do.
much.
I know how many thanks you get from everybody out there, right? Every night they call.
Thank you, John.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Appreciate
Nice
that,
to
yes.
meet you.
And I also appreciate his comments about the air conditioning. I've been harping about that for a long time.
No other speaker cards, Chairman Huey.
It's part of the green policies. Okay. Any other speakers? Anyone else care to address the commission on items 3 and 4? No? Okay, without any further speakers, I will close the public hearing now at 7:04. Okay, so we're looking at 4 resolutions.
Correct.
The sequel on tentative map, conditional use permit. You want to take a stab at it? Karen? You're probably the.
You got all the numbers?
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I kinda might.
so there'll be
I kinda might.
four
This is
different,
in comments or-
four
Which item
different
first?
motions or different votes because they're all different
Right.
resolutions, sure.
So which item first,
So-
the pre-zoning?
Yeah, so the first one would be the 2015, 2015-11. It's for the mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring for the tentative map and for the pre-zone as well.
Okay, I recommend City Council approve the ordinance. That's not that one. Let me go back. It's on this one here. So it's this one for the sequel resolution?
Yeah, for the mitigated negative declaration and the mitigation monitoring reporting program for tentative map
Right.
2013-6 and pre-zone.
I move that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 2015-11, adopting a mitigated negative declaration for Orchard Park tentative map 2013-6 and pre-zone application 2010-I, 2010-2I.
And then also the mitigation monitoring and reporting program.
And the
Yeah.
but that's also on this same
Yes.
resolution?
Yes.
And to include the mitigation
Correct.
monitoring program.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The resolution has been approved.
So now you want the tentative map?
The next one would be the PC 2015-12 for a recommendation to City Council to approve pre-zone 2010-2I. So that's the county parcel, the 1 acre parcel, to request to pre-zone to the City Council.
I move that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 2015-12, recommending to the City Council that they approve an ordinance adopting the requested pre-zoning application 2010-2
Yes.
as presented.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 2 has been approved.
And then the next one would be PC Resolution 2015-13 for a conditional use permit for the Plan Unit Development 2015-3.
Okay, so that's the tentative map. This one,
This one would be, next one would be for the
We're
PUD.
looking at the PUD.
where's that at in here? I'm sorry.
Under the,
Which item is it under?
it's going to be under the tentative map under number 3.
Okay, so. That's the tentative map. Could you come up here and
Sure.
show me? Because I'm a little bit lost right here. And so which item do you want to be on, the pre-zoning?
It's under the tentative map, so we could go on staff report too, and then it'll be on there.
Is it the one you transmitted?
Yeah, so it's right there, so it'll be this third one.
But when I look at it, is it this one? This is the
Oh.
tentative map.
Yeah, and then there's the other PUD.
And that's the one I don't see. Can you show that to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
This is the tentative map, and we want to do the
Right here.
PUD. Okay. So that's the one next? I move that the Planning Commission adopt PC Resolution 2015-13, approving conditional use permit 2015-3 for plan unit development for the 82 residential lots of Orchard Park.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. PUD resolution has been approved. We have one final one.
One
Is
last
that
one.
the-
I recommend
the,
that
pre-zone?
the Planning Commission adopt PC Resolution 2015-14, approving the tentative map 2013-6 as presented in the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 4 has been approved. Thank you, Carol.
My pleasure.
Okay, so now we go into new business. New business? Anyone have any new business?
No new business, Chairman Huey.
New business.
Department reports.
Nope.
None at
Oh,
this time.
sorry.
Planning Commission reports.
No, Dave, there's none.
No?
Wait a
Are you
minute,
trying-
wait a minute.
Are you in a
wait
hurry to
minute.
go somewhere?
He's already done now, so forget it.
Okay. Carol?
If you would give please a report on our meeting with the city council, just a brief.
Oh,
since you're
yes, I'd be
chairman.
happy to do that. Thank you, Vice Chair Lenore. We did have our joint meeting, what was it? It was last Monday, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
13th.
been a long week.
Yes.
And we talked about residential development, the allocations that have been issued, none of which have been built, and some of the affordability aspects of those allocations. It was a very productive meeting. I will say this, is that some of the problems were well identified, and we're still working on some of the solutions. And some of those solutions are defining what affordability is, how they relate to housing types, and the difficulty factors for the developers to get those affordable units built and still get their ROIs. So, we did have some interesting insight from some of the commissioners and some of the people in the general public, and hopefully continue that discussion sometime in the near future too. Because now we know what the issues are, let's still work on some of the solutions.
I think you see a very good example tonight of diversity. You will have the larger lots up there, but then we also address the need for the smaller lots
Smaller
through
lots,
the medium density. So I always like balance, right?
Yeah,
So I think that's good.
great. And,
I was happy to see the MDR.
Yes.
and I'm happy that we had good attendance from this commission at that meeting too, so thank you all. I'm proud of you all. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Okay, any other planning commission reports?
None for staff, no.
And I want to thank staff too for your participation in that joint meeting, okay,
Thank you.
as usual.
Thank you.
Oh, I
I move
entertain a motion for adjournment.
that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have motion to second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned until May 28th, 2015. Thank you for coming.